the big lie. How big is the friggin' lie? You gotta really, really understand that there's good and evil going on. If our Bibles were right, don't you think everybody on the planet would want to be doing everything right? Don't you think we would have levitated to the right book, the right religion? So can we follow religion? Can we trust religion? Can we trust our politicians? Can we trust light workers? I mean, who at the end of the day can we trust? Whose truth can we really, really trust? How do you know for sure what is really, really true? And this is something that's really kind of getting me down because um, as soon as I end up, exposing some truths, it's like if God really showed up, that kind of pisses Satan off. So Satan's always there challenging you. Always going to sit there and challenge you to make sure whether you're strong, and how he tests you constantly. Um, my biggest weakness is friggin' smoking. Stop today, start running, because that is Satan's way of trying to weaken me. And the purpose of it is um, I know that I'm in charge of my reality. I'm the one that's creating everything I'm experiencing. Um, but everybody else is doing the same thing too. I'm like on my own plane of reality, kind of lonely over here. And everybody else is on a different plane of reality. And it's like where the two planes match, and it's not matching up. There's a few, I mean, a lot of people that are, enjoying my channel, um, starting to see that there's some good information I'm sharing. But like is evil really winning? Is evil making this plane bigger and stronger and destroying us? And ultimately, what's going to happen is it's going to get all destroyed. Like a lot of earthquakes, a lot of earth destructions, a lot of doom and gloom. Um, in my world, I'm perfectly protected. I have everything I need. I'm not lacking for anything. As soon as I want something, it shows up. I'm not trying to really push my ideas on anybody. Just share my ideas because ultimately you have to be the one that decides what's right for you. If I wanted to get wealth, well, that's kind of the way Satan works. And if I was coming from a perspective of, hey, I'm a wealthy guy, follow me, more than likely you'll follow me, but it's a trap, you know. And I don't want to use Satan's traps that guide us down all of the wrong paths, if that's making any sense whatsoever. I can't look like evil. I can't walk like evil. I can't jump into evil shoes just to guide everybody into a different direction. So right now, all we're following is following the money. And I mean, kind of pay attention to who it is that you're listening to. I'm listening to people say gold, like I'm the one that's deceived and I'm the one that needs to do more research. Gold is the definite way that will save you. And it's like, yeah, gold is the one that's going to take you off that cliff. Yeah, the only reason it's really, really important for me to, believe your way is because you happen to own gold. And if I am the source that puts out the emotional um, guidance that makes people not value gold, then you lose money. So, those people that have money are going to be guided towards you to go down their path because they want more and more money, and they know as long as you're going down their path, they'll get more money. But that's like the evil way, and at some point in time, you're going to have to recognize that there's a cliff right over there, and it's, do you want to be the one that goes off that cliff? I've talked to, some religious people. What do they want? Well, they want you all dead. I mean, at the end of the day, that's how you can pretty much tell who's telling the truth. Do they want you dead or alive? Um, Same with, this smoking addiction. What does it want? It wants me dead. That is Satan's way, is it wants to kill you. And it will kill you with the carrot of money and wealth. At some point in time, you got to sort of recognize that, hey, that wealth looks real good, it, but at the end of the day, you're selling your soul, and then you're going to be off a cliff and you're dead, and your family's going to be dead, and everybody else that believes you is going to be dead. And it's like, I'm at one with that if that's the way you guys want to do it. If I'm not going to brainwash you into um, following my path. You have to learn your own lessons your own way. I'm talking with some light workers that, have guides, and their guides are telling them the truth. And yeah, kind of look at the guides that you're listening to. If they say that even one person dies with the direction and the mission that you need to go down, if there's an acceptance of even one person that dies through this, kind of question which guides you're listening to. And, if your guides are guiding you down the right path, what are you basing a right path on? Did it get you some wealth? What is it ultimately gave you that you're judging that your guides are the right guides? Because your guides can, be giving you everything that you want, but sometimes what you want is not necessarily good for you. And the biggest thing that we're fooled on is money. If, do you have a sense of peace? Do you have a sense of love? Do you have a sense of, I don't really, really have to do anything because my world, my bubble is perfectly safe because I'm perfectly protected. I have my guides that are protecting me perfectly. I'm happy and healthy. And then the next one is do you want other people in your bubble? Like, do you want everybody on the planet sort of safe? Because if you even think that one person needs to die through all of this, then you need to see your attachment and just the energy of accepting one person that needs to die. That means you're creating your own death and you don't even know it, because you are a oneness. You cannot separate yourself from anybody else, because ultimately, if this is like a holographic game and you are the designer of the own game that you want to experience, if somebody out there in your holographic paradigm dies, you're actually the one that's killing it. You are the killer. And then when you see that you're only doing it to self, that the players in the game are only you are only killing yourself. It's sort of like these wealthy people that think that, they can poison the air and poison the food and everything, destroy the planet and think it won't affect them. They have no connection to, their um, cost-effective rules, and like, we got to have an acceptable death rate for the greater good. Well, the greater good is everybody, and everybody includes them. And if they can't see their connections, that okay, as long as I have this rule that says some people need to die, eventually it's going to be me that ends up dying. So try and associate yourself with what is truth and what isn't truth. At the bottom line, if you can see a timeline that has an acceptable death rate, you're probably listening to the wrong guide. If it's a God that you listen to, and you have an accepted death that, all humans must die, and, that's probably Satan talking. Um, you have to look at yourself. Do you want to die? If you want to die, then there's accepted out there in your game that other people need to die. But if you want to live, then don't you think everybody else wants to live too? That your acceptance of death reflect that there's a mirror there that says you are the one that wants to die. So really, really examine what is truth to you. Anything that ends up killing you, anything that ends up killing any other human being, is going to be the wrong path. The whole deal is about life and survival. And there's not much that you really need to do except for understand how to distinguish what is right and wrong, how to distinguish truth. When you have a set guide that says, okay, I know I can follow this person because they're telling the truth, then you can be open and start listening to that. And as soon as that one person starts going off, well, okay, some people might die, then you know that whoever's guiding you is now going off a wrong path. And just always be focused on, it's all about life, not death. And that is one way that you can see the timeline of somebody's belief system. If you believe in this truth, play that game out and see how it affects the population. If it ends up anybody it gets killed, it's the wrong timeline to be believing in. And that's all it is find the right truth. If you want to find out the truth from lies, then the truth has a timeline. You can predict the future from it. Play that truth out all the way down the line and see if anybody dies. If anybody dies, then that means it's you that will end up being dead, and you just don't want to face that yet. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody yet or not. Peace out.